A unit of Ukraine's 225th Separate Assault Regiment has eliminated a Russian command post near the border in the Sumy region, the regiment said in a statement on its official Telegram channel. The operation took place near the village of Andriivka, approximately 5 kilometers from the Russian border. The 1st Assault Battalion, Black Swan, reportedly reached the Russian position during a combat mission and assaulted the command post. During the assault, the Ukrainian unit captured Major Andrei Yartsev, the battalion commander of Russia's 30th Motorized Rifle Regiment. Yartsev, born in 1974, was later eliminated, according to the regiment. Documents seized at the site indicated Yartsev was originally from Latvia and held a driver's license issued in St. Petersburg, where he had likely lived before joining Russian forces. The 225th Regiment has recently conducted a series of successful operations in the region, including the liberation of Andriivka. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky highlighted the unit's actions in his evening address, praising the soldiers for their efforts on the Sumy front. Earlier in June, elements of the 225th Regiment also operated across the border in Russia's Kursk region, near the town of Tyotkino. On June 2nd, Ukrainian troops reportedly advanced toward Tyotkino and captured a Russian company strongpoint, allowing them to flank Russian positions from 3 directions. Militarny previously reported that Ukrainian Rangers destroyed a group of Russian troops attempting to advance in the Sumy region. 6 soldiers from Ukraine's 6th Ranger Regiment conducted a raid on the Russian unit as it prepared to launch an assault on Ukrainian positions. Ukrainian forces destroyed a large Russian column near Yablonivka on the Kostyantinivka front. 23 units of heavy equipment, MTLBs, tanks, BMPs, along with quads and motorcycles were eliminated. Russian forces are making notable advances toward Kostyantinivka, a key logistical hub in Donetsk Oblast and nearby in Sumy Oblast. Over the past week, independent monitors confirmed new territorial gains around the city. Russia is aiming to establish bridgeheads to tighten the noose on Ukrainian lines. This push builds on earlier gains made during the summer offensive, using combined tactics like drones, artillery barrages, and motorcycle-borne infantry to isolate and strike contested zones. Around June 3rd, Russian troops captured Kostyantinivka in Sumy Oblast, advancing about 20 kilometers toward Sumy city. Ukraine continues to fortify its defenses, evacuate civilians from high-risk areas, and brace for further nighttime missile and drone strikes. Despite Russia's grinding attritional tactics on the Kostyantinivka and Sumy axis, Ukrainian forces are inflicting extremely high losses on the invading troops, whose assaults often rely on waves of poorly trained infantry supported by drones and artillery. But they're being met with coordinated Ukrainian resistance, sniper teams, drone-guided artillery, and precise FPV strikes are taking a heavy toll. Just recently, Ukrainian units successfully counterattacked and recaptured a settlement near the Sumy border, proving that despite the pressure, Kiev's forces can still regain ground. These local reversals show that Russian momentum is not absolute, and that Ukraine's defensive lines, though stretched, are far from collapsing. Ukrainian command continues to rotate fresh units and reinforce hotspots to blunt the Russian advance and exploit overextended enemy positions. Soldiers of the 114th Territorial Defense Brigade's Invisible Squad eliminated a group of 4 Russian motorcyclists attempting an assault on the Siversk front. Russian forces continue daily pressure around Siversk, probing with small assault groups near Verkhnokamianske, Bilohorivka, Ivano-Darivka, and Serebryanka. Despite intense use of artillery, aviation-dropped guided bombs, and FPV drones, these thrusts have not produced significant territorial gains. Ukrainian defenders, especially the 30th, 54th, and 80th Brigades, have effectively repelled multiple major assaults, destroying around 14 APCs, damaging 16 more, knocking out 1 to 2 tanks, and inflicting about 159 enemy casualties in a single counteraction. Over the last couple of days, the General Staff reported 3 separate Russian assault attempts towards Serebryanka, which were successfully thwarted. Meanwhile, Ukrainian artillery and drones continue disrupting Russian logistics and striking reinforcement routes, keeping the attackers off balance. Two oil tankers collided near the Strait of Hormuz on June 17th, amid reports of rising electronic interference affecting maritime navigation in the region. The UAE Coast Guard reported evacuating 24 crew members from the oil tanker Battalion after its collision with the Front Eagle in the Gulf of Oman, near the Strait of Hormuz. According to Reuters, the Front Eagle's operator, Norwegian company Frontline, confirmed that a fire broke out on its deck, but said the crew was safe and that there were no signs of oil leakage. The insider was able to confirm that Ukrainian military intelligence designated the Battalion on a list of ships making up the so-called Shadow Fleet. The ship is allegedly used to covertly transport Russian oil from the port of Ust-Luga in violation of international sanctions and of the $60 per barrel oil price cap introduced in 2022 by the G7 countries, the EU, and Australia. Ukraine said the vessel employed tactics like disabling AIS tracking in order to avoid detection. Tracking service tankertrackers.com reported that the Front Eagle was carrying 2 million barrels of Iraqi crude oil bound for China. The Battalion, a Suezmax-class tanker owned by India-based global shipping holding Leningrad, was unladen and en route to the Suez Canal. Maritime security firm Ambri stated the incident occurred 22 nautical miles, 40.7 kilometers, east of Khor Fakkan in the UAE. A Bloomberg report citing one of the company's analysts said the cause of the collision was not security-related. The Bloomberg report also cited NASA satellite imagery to confirm both tankers caught fire. Initial reports from Reuters and Bloomberg incorrectly stated that 3 tankers were involved, but both outlets later revised their accounts. According to marine traffic data, the Battalion sails under the flag of Antigua and Barbuda, while the Front Eagle is registered in Liberia. Both ships were located in the Gulf of Oman at the time of the collision, which reportedly occurred around 2100 UTC. The incident follows a June 16th advisory from the UK Maritime Trade Operations warning of increasing electronic interference, especially GPS jamming and AIS spoofing, across the Persian Gulf and Strait of Hormuz. These disruptions can cause vessels to transmit incorrect locations, potentially leading to navigation errors and collisions. Tracking services have documented active signal interference, showing erratic AIS data, including sudden jumps of vessels onto land or zigzagging paths along coastlines, which are hallmarks of GPS jamming or spoofing. The UKMTO alert comes amid heightened tensions linked to the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict. On June 14th, a member of Iran's Parliamentary Committee on National Security and Foreign Policy said Tehran was considering closing the Strait of Hormuz, a key choke point through which nearly 1/4 of the world's oil and 1/3 of global liquefied natural gas shipments move. NASA firm's satellite data also confirmed fires on both tankers, recording thermal anomalies with radiative power of 6.5 megawatts and 7.78 megawatts, indicating serious blazes. As of 1100 UTC on June 17th, the fires were still active. The Black Sea Strategy Institute Telegram channel published video footage showing the Battalion engulfed in flames. The Front Eagle, which sails under the Liberian flag with valid registration, is owned by a company registered in the Marshall Islands. The Battalion, which is suspected of involvement in Russia's Shadow Fleet, is 23 years old and registered in Antigua and Barbuda. Its registration is valid according to S&P Global, and its owner is listed as a company based in India. The vessel had reportedly been loitering in the Gulf since May 1st before moving on June 17th. The Shadow Fleet refers to a large group of aging and poorly insured oil tankers that are used to secretly transport Russian crude and petroleum products around the world, often in violation of Western sanctions and the G7/EU oil price cap imposed after the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Many of these ships are owned by shell companies in jurisdictions with lax regulatory oversight. Ships in the Shadow Fleet typically sail under flags of convenience, such as Liberia, Panama, or Antigua and Barbuda, to avoid scrutiny and regulatory compliance. Much of the oil carried by the Shadow Fleet is destined for countries not participating in the sanctions regime against Russia, most notably China, India, and Turkey. A March 2025 investigation by The Insider showed that ships leaving Russian oil terminals in the Baltic are being lightened in European waters, implying that they also deliver oil to EU member states, despite a ban on importing Russian oil into Europe by sea. European ship owners are also involved in these schemes.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.